I wanted to show you downtown Reykjavik, Iceland. And there's a little store with stuff in it. And let's see if I can turn this around. So this is what I see. I don't know if you've ever been to Iceland before, but you can do a tour with me if you want to. It's very nice. Downtown Reykjavik is very nice. Lots of cold weather and lots of white people. Our code name is Vanilla Ice. So whenever I see Vanilla Ice, you'll know what I'm talking about. Look at that menu, Icelandic fish stew. Hey, my name is Corey. How you doing, Otis? Good to see you, brother. So you won't see me, you'll just hear me narrating Iceland, Reykjavik Fish Restaurant. I am Black Excellence. How are you? Good to see you. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Can y'all hear me? I'm not going to put myself on camera. Look at this church. Look at this church, y'all. Check out this church down here. I've never seen a church like that. Amazing, right? Hey, boys, thank you for all the contribution to us B1 FBA folk. Absolutely Trinity. I am B1 and FBA. I'm even actually ADOS. If they just didn't have such a terrible leader of the movement, I would have been a part of that too. You need good leadership to get things done. Okay, you can hear me? Thank you. Hey, Lion Proclamations Media. Odd is safe, unlike our cities. I wonder why. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I know they have very strict gun laws, but I hear Iceland is so safe that people, they don't lock their doors, and they will go in the store and leave their baby in a stroller out front of the store. Can you do that in the United States? Can you name any city in the U.S. where somebody can do that? Let's see, been to Iceland 10 times, nice people, and yes, we can hear you. Okay, thank you, Mike Brown. Trinity B, facts, totally agree. Yeah, unfortunate but true. Weldon Johnson, how you doing, Weldon? What's going on, brother? Hope you're having a good day. So what do y'all think? It's actually quite nice. I've been driving around, walking around, checking out the city and the people. And even though there aren't many black people here, the white people they just don't mess with you. They might look at you funny because, you know, Icelandic, German type, what do they call it, Nordic, I guess, type people. They don't smile a lot, right? You know, they're kind of like a little bit like the Russians sometimes, but they don't mess with you. There was one guy, though, who came out, and I hear the other crazy thing about this place is that it doesn't get dark till 11 o'clock at night, and then the sun comes back up at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., which I've never seen that before. So we were out with the baby, like throwing an airplane with him, and there was some guy who came out and said, "People are trying to sleep." And I'll admit I got a little triggered. I just kind of stared at him. I don't like people telling me what to do, so I just kind of looked at him like, and what are you going to do about that? You know, and then I was like, okay, boys, don't be starting no international incidents. Let's see here. I always said perhaps they should have said descendants of American slaves. No, she actually chose to completely steal a name that was already created. Yeah, that was a movement created. I want to say the guy lived in Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm from. And yeah, he was heated about that. He said, y'all took the name of our movement. But the thing about it is, honestly, I don't like us having to compete. Like, we all agree that we need reparations. We all agree that black people should be better off. Why in the hell does it have to be a competition? That part I do not understand. Like, I need to be the one who does it first. I need to be the leader. No, I just want us to succeed. Good Lord. You know, and that's the thing. That's why self-esteem is important, because when you have no self-esteem, you compete over stupid stuff. You fight over scraps. I don't care about who gets the credit. I don't. You know, I know people take my ideas all the time. I don't care if they do. They can have them. You know I created them. So I don't need necessarily a lot of acknowledgement. I don't need any. I've had that. And I guess you have to have had it to know that it doesn't matter. So I've already had people say, I think you're smart and you're brilliant and you're great at what you do. And it's nice, but after a while you realize that it's not that important. What matters is what you think of yourself. And if you have a good opinion of yourself, then, then you don't need all that extra, like people blowing you up, blowing your head up. You actually work to get the job done. It's like Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to be told he's a great quarterback. He just wants to win a Super Bowl. Even if somebody else gets the credit, he just wants to win because he knows he's a good quarterback. So just know that you're good, know that you're great, and stop worrying about who gets the credit. Let me show you all this church though. Let me flip around and I'll answer more of your questions. Let me show you this church. Have you ever seen a church like this? Look at this. The church is beautiful. Holy shit, I've never seen anything like that. Here I am saying holy shit, I'm talking about a church. That's quite blasphemous, boys. Hold on, there's a car coming. Let me get across the street. Ain't trying to go to no Icelandic hospital. I almost want to walk up to the church. Let's go take a look at this church. You be careful out there, brother. Love you. I will weld them. Thank you. Traveling so beneficial, says Trinity. I agree 100%. Get a passport for your children. Let me just say this about it. Y'all know me, I gotta get started. If you're educating your kids, don't overthink it. Take them around the world. Take them around the world. Every place they go, just do a YouTube search on the culture of the place that they're visiting. Your children will be so much smarter than other people. They'll have so much more perspective. You'd be amazed what you can do just by exposing your kids to things. The way I understood the street better was not by being in the street or learning the hard way. My father just exposed me to things. I would go see things and he would tell me real life stories about his friends and drugs and all that. And when I heard those stories, I never needed to mess around with drugs because I knew how serious it was. I never had to go to jail to learn that you don't want to go to jail. I never had to go get shot to learn that, that you don't want to be shot. He would just expose me to things. And that was a beautiful education. Or having somebody tell me what not to do in life. It allowed me to, have a suburban existence, but also an urban experience as well. And to just kind of think through the decisions that I make. So I think with your kids, the best thing you want to do is position them so they can make good choices. I was having that conversation with my daughter today. I said, the number one thing you need to do with my granddaughter, make sure that she just knows how to make good choices. I'm showing y'all this church in the background. Have y'all ever seen a church like this? This building is freaking gorgeous. I've never seen anything like this. But anyway, you want your kids to be able to make good choices. And good choices don't come from necessarily taking classes and all that. That's part of it, of course. You got to learn how to read and write and do math. Good choices can also come from experience and just being told. You can literally educate a child very well by just telling them honest stories. I think a lot of women who get to a certain age and maybe they can't have children because either they missed their opportunity or they went to college and slept around a little bit and caught it, an uncurable disease and got some kind of cervical cancer or whatever, right? I think that they could learn a lot if they were able to talk to older women. If they were able to have honest conversations with women in their 40s and they would be honest about their mistakes instead of everybody being so hush hush. I think you should tell them. I think they should talk because I know a lot of women in their 40s and 50s and I know their stories because I know when they were young and popping and I saw how this woman who used to want to have children, who had this dream of a different life, ended up 50 years old with no husband, no kids, no nothing, and we're very hush-hush about it. And it's my honest belief that if these young women or older women were able to talk to younger women and tell them honest stories instead of being ashamed of our bad choices or our mistakes, I think a lot of young women would avoid those mistakes. Because I think that for women, just like for men, society encourages us to make stupid decisions. And I think for women, the same thing. I think things like extreme feminism encourages women to just make decisions that are going to be costly long term. I just say that, and I think everybody should make their own choice. But when you make a decision, it should be done with maximum information. And maximum information means talking to not just your peer group, but talking to people who've already had that experience, who've already gone through it, several people who've gone through it, so that you can get several points of view, not just one or two, not just, your mama's point of view. Maybe your mama's super religious, or maybe your mama is, got lucky. But that's how I learned about life. That's how I learned before I got to my 40s. I had a plan for my 40s because I talked to a lot of different men and women who had already passed their 40s. And so in my 30s, I was like, okay, in my 40s, I think based on all the different lives I've been able to live through vicariously through these other people, I can make a decision on where I want my life to be. So travel, get around the world, get your kids a passport. I think if you have a newborn baby, your baby should have a passport by the time they're 2. Take them around the world, let them have some experiences, and that'll really do a lot for their education. Like if I was young, if I was 22, you know what I would do? Don't tell my wife. I love my wife, but you know what I would do if I was 22? I would probably marry another amazing black woman. I wouldn't marry a white woman. No disrespect if you're white. I'd marry an awesome black woman, and I'd have like 6 kids. And those 6 kids, I would educate them at home. I would put all my energy into educating those kids. And then I would train them on the family business, and we would all go into business together. So 2 major vital systems in America would be averted. The economic system that keeps black people enslaved, we would avert that because none of my kids would have to work for anybody. And then also the educational system, which poisons our children. You'd be amazed at how differently European kids are educated compared to American kids. American kids are about the dumbest motherfuckers on the earth. Like, I hate saying it, I'm sorry. I don't know if I hurt anybody's feelings, but American kids are not ready to compete with anyone. Your school system. I know a black woman who's moving her kids to Europe, and I said, I think that's a good decision because your kids will get a good education in Europe or in another country. They're not going to get educated adequately in the U.S., and there's too many distractions, too much chaos. Like in Europe, they don't have like all the mass shootings and stuff like we have in the U.S. We just kind of have a crazy country, and it's on the decline. And anyway, let me finish telling you. So if I was 22 again, I would have 6 kids. I would be a full-time entrepreneur. I wouldn't have even got my PhD. I like having my PhD. It's nice. It was beneficial. It made me a thinker. But instead of doing that, I would have just become an intense entrepreneur. I would have spent all my time learning how to start businesses and make money, stuff like that. And so my kids would not be in the school system. They would not be in the economic system and be slaves for some white man. They'd be working with their dad, who loves them. And then also even the healthcare system could be avoided because I would make sure that we were growing our own food on our farm or whatever and eating healthy, right? That right there helps you avoid big pharma and all these other systems, which unfortunately represent the dark side of capitalism. And I would, and so the thing is that sometimes I hear people make fun of like the Hebrew Israelites or the Nation of Islam, and they say, oh, those black people don't make no sense, or I don't get them, and da-da-da. I'm telling you, they got the right idea, though. A big part of what I like is that they understand that you have to build your own stuff in order to do it the right way, and that leaning on whatever the white man has is not adequate for black people that truly want to be healthy, happy, and successful. That these systems that you're trained to lean on, the government, corporate America, universities, the public school system, the healthcare system, all these systems are designed to make people at the top very, very rich at your expense. And they end up harming so many people. And they feel stuck because you have no choice. Well, why? Well, because you were raised to be dependent on the system. So I would say to you, if you have the ability to do that, help your kids kind of understand that, and also just take them around the world so they can also see how different systems operate. No system's perfect. Like, I don't love everything about Europe or everything about Africa. There's some things that you can give or take, but if you have exposure to a multitude of possibilities, you can at least pick and choose where you want to be and what you want to actually see come to fruition. Now, give me a second, guys. Don't go anywhere. I got to look at, I think I got lost again. Sometimes I start talking now and I just get lost. I can't find my way back around. So I'm trying to find my hotel because I got to go to the bathroom. So give me 1 second. Don't disappear. Hold on. I don't know if y'all were able to hear me or not when I switched my screen, but I had to do that because I got lost. Sorry. Please find me. I know, right? Thank you, Trinity. I appreciate that. No keeping a buck. They're being fed BS, mind, body, and soul. Yeah, look at what's going on with these kids. I mean, you know, I saw this rapper. Like somebody's like, yeah, have you heard this rapper? His name's like ETSG or something. I said, no, I never heard of him. Who's that? They said, yo, he's from Louisville. Where you from? I said, really? And I watched its music, and it was like the same stuff I see in all these songs. And you can't tell me that the feds ain't in on it. You can't tell me this is not a government project. The black man has become the subject of a massive, I'm not even gonna call it a scientific experiment. It's deeper than a scientific experiment. It is some sort of concerted effort to control black people. You know, like it is, like there's no, I mean, I felt bad. I was like, damn, because this guy's already in the middle of like serious gang situations. Like they're you know, like I think he says, he in a verse, he says something like, I spent 60 days outside and I didn't die. And I said, he's rapping about how he survived for 60 days and didn't get killed, and he was outside for 60 days and didn't die? That's the standard now? Anyway, hold on. I'm switching screens again because I gotta make sure I know where I'm going. Hold on. Y'all sit here and watch me walk in circles. But yeah, so I just think I can't always tell you everything that they're doing to us, but I like that movie they cloned Tyrone. I don't know if everybody saw this movie, but they were brilliant in this movie. They did a really good job of kind of, in a really comical way, highlighting the fact that you can't tell me they're not experimenting on black people. You can't tell me that they're not, you know, because they experiment on all Americans in general. It's not just black people. It's just that you're the most vulnerable. You're the easiest target. So I think that what they do to America at large, they're doing to black people on like steroids, you know. So if you don't know how to think for yourself and kind of break away from all that, it's going to trap you, you know. And I just encourage you to kind of think outside that box. Okay. All right. So anyway, if you're on the text list, I just sent you guys a text earlier for some stuff that you can have access to if you want. If you're not on the text list, I will text you some stocks that I like, stocks that I'm buying. I buy stock every week, so I'll text you a profit alert by tomorrow. So just text the stock alert. Also, B1 the movie is coming out this summer, and the URL, if you want to learn more about it, we're gonna release it in Atlanta on Marcus Garver's birthday. Go to B1, B the number one, the movie.com, directed by Rick Mathis himself of the project. I think it's gonna be very good. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Actually, I'm gonna do an episode tonight on drboycetv.com in a little bit, so feel free to take a look at that. But right now, I'm gonna go take me a nap. So I'll keep tuning in from Iceland, and we went whale watching today. That was crazy to see whales and dolphins and all that stuff. So Iceland's a beautiful place. I highly recommend it if you have not visited. You know, you may want to think about it. And in fact, actually, we're thinking about bringing a group of people to Africa. We're thinking about going to Egypt. We're partnering with a group that takes people all over the world. And so if that's of interest to you, I can keep you posted. Just make sure you hit the notification bell here, so you'll be we'll be connected. You get notified when I go live, and I'll tell you guys when we go to our group trip to Africa. Did Dr. Alicia join you on this trip? No, she could not make it. She had to go to California, but I wish she was here. You know, I'm gonna tell you, you know, it's funny. You know, marriage is something else. I don't know how many of y'all are married, but you know, sometimes you and your spouse get on each other's nerves, and you'd be like, man, I can't wait to get out of the house for a couple of days, you know. And then after about 2 or 3 days, I started thinking about how soft she is and all that, and then she starts missing me, and we start, wanting to be connected again. And here's another little thought I had today, and I'm gonna share this with you guys, because I was explaining to my daughter the difference between marriage and being a girlfriend and a boyfriend. A lot of people are, when they talk about marriage, they're like, oh, it's just a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper. First of all, it's not, right. There's legal ramifications and all that, right. The courts don't recognize ride or die or baby mama or none of these other titles. But the other piece of it too is what one thing that marriage does that I actually think is beneficial is it makes it much harder for you to make a snap decision that can mess up your life. Like, I don't know if anybody else has ever gone through this, but I can remember, I'm gonna tell you, before I got married, I didn't have a million girlfriends, but I kept a girlfriend or something by my side. I wasn't a super long-term relationship kind of guy. I was maybe like I was good for a good 2 to 4 years, honestly. But anyway, but I did have enough relationships, and I remember noticing a long time ago that in a relationship, I don't know if anybody else has gone through this. Maybe it was just my experience, but like, you could be with somebody on Tuesday, get into a fight, and then you all broke up on Thursday. And then next thing you haven't seen this person or talked to them for years, and you're not connected anymore, and all this other stuff. And you kind of look back and say, maybe if we had stuck it out, we could have stayed together. Well, the thing about marriage is you can get into that same argument, that same fight, and instead of being broken up by Thursday, it takes a while, like, right? Like, you have to go through a process. You got to go pay a lawyer. You got to go get the paperwork. You have to move all your stuff. You have to do all these things that create what they call frictions. In finance, we call these frictions. So frictions are things that make a transaction tougher to do. And little frictions reduce the likelihood that the transaction actually takes place. So with marriage, divorce is a transaction. And these frictions allow you to fight through things that you can't that you normally wouldn't have to fight, wouldn't want to fight through. It creates like a little bit of discipline. Let's see here. Okay, so Trinity says, Boyce, I'm interested in something, explaining his point of view in regards to stealing her domain. Yeah, well, what happened with Michi X was I was working with her with Fly Nubian Queen, and I invested significantly in her. Again, another person I gave a lot of money to, because that was a dumb decision of mine. I was pay I wanted to create like a black owned, like almost like a TV network, where I would pay people to make content online, like to have a channel, Fly Nubian Queen. And at first it was going really well because Michi's really talented, her stuff is really good. But the problem is that she's very volatile, and that volatile behavior was spilling over into other parts of the company. She was insistent. She would call me constantly and tell me, Vicky, Vicky, that bitch she's talking about me again. I'd be like, Vicky, why are you talking about Michi? And Vicky would say, Dr. Boyce, I did not mention her name. And I was like, so I'd watch the video. I'd be like, she didn't say your name. Well, I know that bitch is talking about me. I know. And then she would talk, like, I don't even have to like talking about this lady, because honestly, I would say I don't know if the mental health is honestly there. But when I see chaotic behavior, I don't want to be around that. I just don't. People like that. It's just not fun for me. So what happened was, I think that this is what really pissed her off, is I have two sides to my personality. Honestly, I have the friendly, open, helpful Boyce, which I think that's what people see when they start working with me. And some of y'all understand, if you've ever run a business, you know what I'm talking about. And then I have the other Boyce that just will cut you the fuck off. If I see you behaving in a way that is not good to the people around me, if you're abusing people around me, or you're a toxic person that should not be in my space, I will walk away and never look back. And this is the first time I've ever said this, but that's actually why I don't talk to Damon Dash anymore. I'm not going to talk about Damon anymore because I like Damon, but I did let him know. I said, look, I know I'm a nice guy, but I'm not a punk. Please do not talk to me like you talk to some of these other people. Shut the door, And I learned that because I had, a relationship a long time ago with a lady who liked to fight and go crazy and get volatile, and the shit got out of control. And I learned at 24, 25 years old, like, anytime I see a person, especially when it's like any interaction with women, just because it's easy for people to go out and say that man was abusive, that man did this, that man did that. And this is my advice to men. If you get around a woman like chaotic and crazy and screaming, hollering, cussing, throwing stuff, acting a fool, Get away from that. Just walk. Don't even argue. Don't fight. Don't try to talk her out of it. Just go to the door, walk out, shut the shit down, and don't look back. Because when the shit goes down, if she decides, oh, fuck you, I'm gonna go and tell the whole world you're an abuser, people will believe that. People will just believe it. Like it doesn't matter if I've done thousands of videos, doing all I can to show you guys, showing who I actually am. Some people will just believe that. And so that's the point of view. That's the thing with me. So the thing was with the domain was we had a confidentiality agreement that she signed. She signed a confidentiality agreement. So if you want to know the simple explanation, she signed a confidentiality agreement where she would not speak negatively about me or the company. So she basically said, fuck you. I'm going to violate this shit. Sue me. Dare me to sue. I did not sue. But you know what I did say? I said, don't ever talk to me again. You have no ability, no right to contact me anymore. I didn't even announce it. I just stopped taking the calls. So that's when it became, oh, Boyce is doing this and Boyce is doing that. But they don't tell you the other side of the story. It's like, no, yeah, the domain's over there. I'm not even using it. I don't even use this shit. I don't care about what the hell am I going to do with that domain anyway? I'm not doing nothing with it. But it's like, no, I'm not doing anything for you. Nothing. We're done here. I don't give a fuck. You can talk about me. You can scream and holler and bitch complain and moan. But no, you were hurting people that I care about. You were a very harmful, toxic, disrespectful person. And you think you can bully your way through life. Well, guess what? I don't bully easily. And just to be real with y'all, 100%, I grew up in a household with a very hard father who was a wonderful man, and I love him. I honor him for taking care of me since the age of 3. But he was also a traumatized Vietnam veteran with significant emotional issues. He was very violent, and he was a police officer. So everybody's scared of cops, like talking to cops, whatever. I grew up in a house with a cop. So it was a very real thing that, it was very real terror, very real trauma that came from that bullying that I experienced as a kid. So what has happened, and this is what I've had to deal with, when I talk to the therapist or whatever, is I don't respond well to bullying. When you try to bully me, I've dealt with the worst of bullies of all time. Bullies, I'm not afraid of bullies. But I also, when I see a bully hurting somebody else, I go into action too. That bothers me also. I saw Angela Rye mistreating people out in Oklahoma. I saw her being very disrespectful to people that paid her lots of money. And I know Charlamagne was not happy that I said something about it, but I couldn't help it. Because I don't like seeing people get mistreated by somebody who is an abusive human being. So if you ever want to know the truth, and I don't even talk about the Michi stuff, and I'm not going to talk about it no more because I don't know about y'all, but I get tired of the nigga net and all the chaos on it. It's like, Lord Jesus, these are 45-year-old people acting like 8-year-olds. But that's what happened. That's why I've never responded to it, because I'm like, you know what you did. And so why would you expect me to do you? You think I'm a punk? You think you're going to just scream and holler and I'm just going to fold and do what you want me to do? No, you violated your NDA. And I got the documentation. If I wanted to pull out docs and shit, I don't do that. I have better things to do. But if I wanted to pull out paperwork on people, I could. I could pull out contracts on Yvette Carnell. I could pull out contracts on Michi. I could pull out contracts on a lot of people. So don't, I'm not telling anybody what to believe. You can believe whatever you want, honestly. I just don't care. What I find is that there are mature people. There are people who understand. And then there are people who, maybe they just had a different experience, or they want to believe that because you were the boss that somehow you were the bad guy. And I would just say, even no matter what category you're in, if I can help you and I can support you, I'm happy to do that for free, right? So you can text the word stock to 31996. I will send you lots of free stuff like everybody else. I will not discriminate against you. And that's just what it is. So when I see comments like Jamal's comment, just join the club, brother. There's a lot of people that have negative things to say, and I'm not. That just it doesn't matter. That's what the internet is full of, people that do things like that. Let's see here. Boy says bully women. Oh Lord. Oh God. We got trolls up in here. Let's see. You moving like a captain. Yeah. El Haj. I mean, that's what you have to do. I can tell you that if you have any type of success and you're among unsuccessful people, their goal will be to try to make you into the bad guy. That's just what's going to happen. So, that's just what it is. So anyway, Did I call Lizzo names? No, actually, son, I did not call Lizzo names. Let me explain Lizzo. Here's what my issue was with the whole thing with Lizzo. I had no issue with Lizzo. I think Lizzo's beautiful. I think Lizzo's talented. My issue with Lizzo was not her. It was the record labels that want to make money by having a black woman out here looking like a whore. Now, if you agree that black women need to look like hoes and sluts and racial stereotypes, then you're not my friend. You shouldn't be here. You're not a person that should be anywhere near my tribe, because fuck you. People who do this, you're not. There are I think 3 or 4 stereotypes of the black woman that have been around since slavery. There's the mammy, which is like the Aunt Jemima figure. There's the Jezebel, which is, I believe that's the slut. Basically, black women are hoes. And there's the Sapphire, the angry, neck-swinging black woman who hates everybody and is attacking people. And those 3 stereotypes, if you look at Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Lizzo, those women, unfortunately, are put in a position where the white and Jewish record labels that own them are telling them to behave in a stereotypical way so you can sell more records. And so effectively, this type of nonsense needs to be called out. And I know I live in a community that isn't educated about this. I get this. Most people don't understand. They just think it's good entertainment. I don't. Think about this. Can you name one white woman who does what Lizzo does? Is there one? Who's the white Lizzo? Can anybody answer that? Give me a yes or no. Can you name the white Lizzo? Here's another question. Can you name the white Cardi B? Who is the white Cardi B? Who is a woman that is as famous as Cardi B who raps about her pussy in every other song? Tell me. Seriously, who's the white Cardi B? Who's the white Megan Thee Stallion who's twerking and pulling her titties out and shit? Like seriously, like who is the white version of Megan? I'm talking about just as famous, sold just as many records last year. I'm not talking about you said Madonna. Madonna's damn near 70, dudes. Come on now. Now you're revealing your intelligence. That's Miley Cyrus that did not. Miley Cyrus is not. Show me a video that Miley Cyrus has done in the last 3 years where she's done anything that those women are doing. There is no Britney Spears is. See, now you're stretching. Now you're being funny, son. Okay, I'm not even gonna pay attention. You're a comedian now. You can't name a white one. Think about this. You should be able to name 4 or 5 white women for every one black woman. Seriously. But no, the biggest entertainers in the black community, 3 of the biggest female entertainers are women who pretty much rap about their pussies. That's it. I mean, so do you think that that's a little strange, or do you think that that's just par for the course? Do you think that that's just what black people are supposed to do, or do you think that maybe we should reconsider that? So I'll say this. I like Lizzo a lot. I do. I really do. Everything I said about her or about the label, I would say to her. I would encourage her to not let the white feminist agenda divide us, because what they do is the white media jumps in and they say, oh, he's being a sexist black man because black men are sexist and they hold black women back and they abuse black women and they won't let black women have sexual freedom. And here's the thing. You're teaching all your daughters to be little sluts at the age of 7, and then when little girls are out here getting fucked by the R. Kellys of the world at the age of 12, people are like, well, where are the black men? Black men don't protect black women. Well, you won't let black men protect you. When a black man steps up to try to protect you, you want to call him a sexist. You want to attack him because he is saying, why are you trying to train our daughters to think that they're ready for things that they're not ready for? I don't want my 7-year-old to learn how to suck a dick. Seriously. And if you want that for your 7-year-old, somebody need to call the cops on you. Seriously. Call the cops on your ass, because children need to be allowed to be children. And white women don't get that type of message on a regular basis. Miley Cyrus was never as big as Cardi B is right now. Miley Cyrus was never as big as Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, or Lizzo. None of them. Why? Well, because when white women try to look at that. Taylor Swift just made $1 billion on tour. $1 billion on tour. And she did not, I have not seen Taylor twerking. I have not seen Taylor rapping one verse about her vagina. I have not seen Taylor on her knees simulating the sucking of a penis. I saw Lizzo on TikTok, an app for children, simulating sucking a man's penis. And I'm trying to understand, who are the people that think that this is normal behavior? And who are the people that think that, oh, this is okay just because you're making money? My Lord Jesus. Is that all it is? Is that all it takes? I mean, are you really that much for sale? When you use the term sellout, you need to understand what a sellout really looks like. That's not cool. So anyway, Miley Cyrus is not a pop icon. Now, again, you're being funny again. Miley Cyrus did it for a moment, then you switched it up and dissed the black music culture, saying we talk about sex and drugs. We do talk about sex and drugs. That ain't no diss. Go watch the BET Awards, brother. The so-called feminist movement is so sad. Yes, it is. Boyce can't counter my answer. He calls me stupid. All you need to know about his intelligence. I didn't see your question, so if you ask a respectful question, I'll give you a respectful answer. But son, you haven't been respectful, so I can't be respectful back. Trinity B facts. I can't even allow my children to listen to typical music. Yeah. Let's see here. Too many trolls in the comments. Yeah, that's okay. They're welcome. I don't care. I like the trolls coming by. Let's see. That's a fact, Jack. I believe you're a scammer, bro. That's good. Then you shouldn't do business with me. You should never do business with someone that you believe is a scammer. So if you believe that, then go do something else. That's okay. I don't really need you around here. Like, it's okay for you not to be. You do understand that you don't have to be here, right? But I think that you like being here, so you're welcome. Keep staying. Just keep coming back. Let's see. Jennifer Lopez also stripped in her. All right, I'm gonna go. This dude's bringing up Jennifer Lopez. That's how hard. Think about it. Think about how hard you gotta search if you're looking for a non-black woman who's shaking ass and vagina at the camera. You gotta go back to J Lo, who's like, isn't she 54 years old now? Come on, dude. Come on, man. Come on. Let's have more pride. Seriously, black people. I'm done. I'm done. Y'all see what I got to deal with? She said J-Lo. Have a good day, everybody. I love you. I'll be live on Dr. Boyce TV tonight, and the trolls are welcome also. I love y'all too. I'll see you later. Peace.